ABC, it's Danny. Back again. Basically, I'm surrounded by piles of stuff. Kind of each, I have an individual video associated with each that I was going to do. I didn't really want to default just to recent pickups, and my recent pickups pile stretches back months and months because it was so long between me making videos. So I figure I'm just going to sit here surrounded by this stuff and see what I grab and see what we see. So, first up, just arrived in the mail here. This is In the Graveyard by Dead Moon, out on Mississippi Records. I have not actually had time to listen to this. Like I said, it just arrived. You can order this on littleaxerecords.com. It's a recent repress. Dead Moon is Fred Cole's band, and Fred Cole was, I believe, the founder of Mississippi Records, a label which I knew for its blues and 78 releases, and also has this great kind of punk section to it. So, yeah, these are in mono. Really excited to have this and excited to dig in. I know Andrew's a fan over Tales from the Crate. And so I think we each knew Mississippi Records from kind of an opposite angle. This is the second album, Unknown Passage. Yeah, I mean, everything I've sampled sounds fantastic, so I'm excited to dig into these two. These are like $12, I think, on Little X's website, and it's just a steal. Mississippi and Little X used to be one label that they've split, not recently, but they've split. They just put out fantastic stuff. I got my tape player up and running, and honestly I was kind of blown away by the sound quality, so I picked up a few cassettes. Little X does these great mixes. This is a gospel mix here. I think there's some more gospel here. The glare is bad on these. Cassettes don't show as well as records do. I think some R&B soul comp. Just fantastic stuff. Like everything that Mississippi and their affiliate labels put out. This is one I found months ago, but I keep pulling it out to listen to. Life is a Problem. This is a compilation of gospel, and a lot of it is guitar-led gospel. And that's probably, honestly, if I actually did my research, I think that's the focus of the record, is kind of preachers with guitars. And there's just such rapturous, exciting, vibrant, kind of electrified, to kind of use a pun. It's just fantastic music here. Yeah. Life is a problem, but where there is life, there is hope. Just, you know, I've been going deeper and deeper into my interest in blues and roots and kind of raw recording, and sentiments like that are kind of what keep pulling me in, I think. You go so far back that you feel you've totally distanced yourself from the modern world and everything that's going on, and then you find somebody came to the exact solution that you need, 60 years ago, 80 years ago, 100 years ago. You start to see the circle we're all on, I guess. I guess I'll stay with Mississippi. Another thing Mississippi does is they do these fantastic reissues of African records. This one's in collaboration with Sale Sounds. This is Orchestre Nationale de Mauritanie. This one I have out. Is there a pamphlet in here? I have out because I really want to spend some more time with it. But it comes with this beautiful booklet. And I picked this one up because it's got to be on the shelf here. Excuse me for a second. I got this record last year, maybe longer than that. Orchestra Rail de Bamako, excuse me, Rail Band de Bamako. This is Malian music, I believe, and this band was put together by the Railroad Authority. This is just incredible music. I think it's kind of like I want to say it's African music that has an influence of Cuban jazz, but I don't know if that's correct. But it's just horns and incredible melodies and great guitar playing. Orchestra Regional de Cais, another record very much in the same vein. So I was aware that that Mississippi put out these African reissues, and when I saw this one, again, this is months ago, I picked this up. I knew I had to have it, but it just I haven't really spent enough time listening to it, so now that I'm back in this headspace, I've pulled it out. I should try to spend the time listening before I talk to you all about it, but the more I stay in that mindset, the less videos I make, so figure let me just get on here and start yapping. Here's some more recent, this is more recent that I got this, and this is on Mississippi Records. George McCovey. This is great, acoustic based. Just you know, it's let's see, it's guitar led music, Kiswahili language, the lingua franca of East and Central Africa. It's great music for any time. It's great music for when the sun is shining. Oh, there you go. Furaha Wenya Gita, happiness with guitar. And that's the sound of the record. I can pick this up from a secondhand seller, but yeah, this Mississippi stuff, I've really been getting into the label lately, and everything I get on there is just fantastic. This is Sege Mariam Gabru. Her name is kind of spelled differently each time I see it. Spielt eigen Komposition. I showed her one of her other records, also out on Mississippi, in a contest entry for Andrew's video, and that was all taken from Ethiopiques 21, a CD compilation. These are kind of the remaining tracks that weren't featured there, were featured here. And forever, the original press of this was, the Mississippi repress had already gone over $100. It was insane. And they recently repressed it, and they sell it for $12. So highly, highly recommended. This is beautiful, beautiful piano music. She's an Ethiopian nun who was classically trained in Switzerland and then brought her training back to Ethiopia and played sacred Ethiopian music. Beautiful, beautiful melodies. Gorgeous. Hard to be in a bad mood when I listen to that music. Oh, there's so much more. I guess, yeah, well, I'll just show you the rest of where my head's been at with this Mississippi stuff, because I really can't get enough of it. I believe I'll go back home. What is this? 1906 to 1959. This is a compilation of guitar-led tracks. International mostly, but there's a couple American. Blind Willie Davis is on here. I believe I'll go back home. And the namesake of the record. This is a companion to another record out on Mississippi. Oh. I Don't Feel at Home in This World Anymore. Obviously the similarity in the covers. And these covers are an homage to the Real Country Blues, one of the first compilations of 78 music. Commercially available. I think it was the first time Skip James had been repressed outside of his original 78s. Kind of that compilation, which I'm still on the lookout for a copy myself, really kicked off the kind of revival of interest in 78s and blues. And so this is an homage. I mean, the thing about Mississippi Records that I love so much is that they really respect and carry on the legacy of the collectors, the curators, the musicians. They embrace their place in the history of this music and in the history of the music itself. And I think they earn their spot, you know, with stripes. True Story of Abner J. Another one that had gotten kind of pricey, but then got repressed, and so I was able to pick it up some months ago. Abner J. one-man band. I'm So Depressed. You don't know whether to laugh or cry. It's a catharsis song. It could make you do either, I think. You believe him when he says he's so depressed, but it's so plainly stated and so on the head, on the nose, that it's almost funny. Abner's been playing banjo, drums, harmonica, and singing all at the same time. So, for 42 years. So that's, I mean, you know, it's a kick drum and a harmonica and a banjo and his voice, and just an incredibly full and evocative sound, really his own sound. Almost, I mean, this is a strange comparison, but, you know, the Daniel Johnston of blues in a weird way. If you need a catchy tagline to get you interested. Okay, last one I'll show today of these Mississippi Records. This one I wanted for a while. This one's not in print. This is Skip James, 1931. Mississippi Records 20. This is his 1931 session, which has also been, look, I mean, little touches like this. This is printed separately, a glossy photograph, and glued to the cover. It's, I don't know if you can see that, but it's not one with the cover. I mean, there's a handmade, homemade quality, but also a professional touch that really just make these really special to me. Sorry, I don't want to spend too long looking for this, but I have a record here. Here we go. So this Skip James session has previously been released on Yazoo Records, one of the later Yazoo releases. And so it was fun to do a little comparison between the two. The audio quality on Mississippi is excellent as well. It's one of the big things that keeps me coming back. The mastering, usually done by a guy, Timothy Stollenwerk, does fantastic mastering work. There are details that he pulls out of these recordings that you don't hear otherwise. This was mastered by Nick Pearls, you know, Yazoo Records, and there's a natural airiness, and I think, you know, gun to my head, I think this might be the copy I prefer. I think that extra detail comes with a little extra top end, but regardless, the performances, which is, you know, really the thing, should be the thing. The performances are phenomenal. I'm So Glad. Devil Got My Woman. Just an incredible, haunting, classic track. Hard Time Killing Four Blues. You know, Skip James. These are huge, huge recordings in the history of the blues, and I think I would highly recommend this compilation as a way to dip your toe in. Although, like I said, it is out of print, and it seems to be somewhat sought after as far as Mississippi Records go. Doesn't seem like there's a rabid fan base necessarily, but they do seem to go out of print and then start hitting some markups. So yeah, so there I've been really deep down that rabbit hole. I've been listening to a lot of jazz, but I think I'm gonna keep that separate. Here we go. Here's a kind of sort of grail. This was like a lark on eBay. This is Willie Nelson's And Then I Wrote, an original on Liberty. Just absolutely trashed cover. Totally roached and just water damaged. Disgusting. But because of that, I got it for $10. You can't beat that price with a stick. And the record itself is a solid VG. Like, there's surface noise throughout, but it's not like God turn off that record surface noise. It's enough that I'd rather look for a cleaner original than spend full price on a recent reissue. You know, there's enough of the good stuff coming through. Yeah, you know, it's nice. It's a rare record in trashed condition is only worth $10. So it's kind of nice to find stuff like that being priced accordingly. It's great to have it, and it's well within being listenable. I've spun this a few times since I've grabbed it, and so yeah, a sort of grail in totally unholy condition. This is another one I've been wanting for a long time. Originally released as a Record Store Day exclusive. Gloria Barnes, Uptown. This is out on Coal Mine Records. On their, they have a subsidiary label called Remind, where they repress lost classics. Excuse me, I can't speak right now. Gloria Barnes, Uptown. This is like a lost soul classic out on Maples. Lee Moses records were put out on Maples, and Lee Moses and the Ohio Players are the backing band on this record. I need to spend more time with it. It's definitely more of a slow jam record than Lee Moses, although the band is just phenomenal. It doesn't quite hit me as hard as Lee Moses in terms of, oh my god, this is a definite classic, but I'm really glad I got it. They've been repressing this. The Record Store Day ones were foil stamped and numbered. They've been repressing and releasing in small quantities, so it took me a little while to grab one of these. I'm very happy I did. I would recommend it to anybody. But it's not necessarily a holy crap, totally lost classic everybody must own, but if you're a soul head, if you like Lee Moses, Andrew, I'm thinking of you. If you don't have this record, I think you should seek it out. At least sample it. I think you'd find a lot to dig here. This was a great find. Bought on the strength of the cover and the lineup here. Loaded with the blues, Chicago Blues All-Stars. Out on BASF Systems, MPS Stereo. Apparently a German label. I was unaware of the label until after I picked up the record, and then from a few things I've seen since getting it, it looks like they were a blues and jazz label in Germany. I guess also had U.S. distribution. There's a great picture of Willie Dixon with a cake there, or a pie. Willie Dixon, Sunnyland Slim, Big Walter Shaky Horton, Johnny Shines, and Clifton James. Kicks off with almost like a novelty track called German Babies, which I could take or leave, but then everything beyond there. Baby, I Need Your Love, 29 Ways, put it all in there. She's got a thing going on every time I get to drink. It's just a fantastic Chicago blues record. I don't know, recorded July 1st, 69, Love Studio Cologne, so I don't know, is that France or Germany or what? Probably Germany. It's a German label. But I was very happy to pick this up. I got a great looking label here too. Always happy to become aware of a new label that I should keep my eyes peeled for. And you know, my relationship to the blues had been so mired in early stuff for so long. I'd just been so focused on early blues for so long that I'm kind of a latecomer to Chicago blues, but I mean, it's really fantastic stuff. Happy to have it all ahead of me, you know. Here's one I've been looking for a very long time. Very thrilled to have Brian Eno taking Tiger Mountain by Strategy. This is Editions EG, I guess an 80s repress on Gem Records, which for personal reasons I actually prefer the Gem reissues, but for absurdist reasons. This, unfortunately, is very slightly warped. With a little record weight, it doesn't make any difference except that it bothers me. But, you know, I've been on the lookout for this record for the longest. I think of all of my Eno records, this was the highest on the want list, and I'm thrilled to finally have one. Eno never stays in the store for very long, so gotta grab it while it's good. Just a great record. You know, the middle point between his Roxy Music phase and the ambient stuff, it's strange and interesting and just a fantastic record. A classic record, I don't need to tell you all, but so happy to have it. Got some Carla Thomas, Love Means. It was a later, I believe, like a 70s Stax release. You know, Carla Thomas originals are just not around as far as I can see. I've been able to get some singles, but the records have all completely eluded me. I don't believe this is regarded as among her most essential records, but it's fantastic. Her voice is unbelievable. Her interpretations are great. It's just a beautiful soul record. Very smooth, very easy to listen to. Very happy to have super crispy copy. Little drill hole, but I never hurt anybody. So, blowing through a lot here, but why the heck not? Buddy Holly and the Chirping Crickets, or just the Chirping Crickets, excuse me. Buddy Holly and the Crickets. This is a UK mono repress. MCA Coral, EMI Records. You know, the original is a rare collector's item, and so this is a nice way to get the record. It sounds really nice. It does not sound as great as it's possible for these songs to sound, you know, like this is actually a case where when I stream the music, there's more information there than playing this record, but the record sounds good, you know, it's a satisfying sound, even though there's maybe not all the detail that you can find elsewhere. But, you know, Not Fade Away, That'll Be the Day, you know, Rock Me Baby, Send Me Some Lovin', I'm Looking for Someone to Love, You've Got Love, Maybe Baby, you know, if I was only going to own one Buddy Holly record, this would be the one. Iconic for a reason, you know. Happy to have that. It's alright. Oh, very quickly, let me just say. Mississippi Blues number 3, Transition, 1926 to 1937. Origin Jazz Library, 17. Origin Jazz Library, I believe, was Pete Whalen's record. Another one of the Blues Mafia, his record label. Kind of an alternative Yazoo. Equivalently beautiful sound on these. Incredibly low noise floor on a lot of the OJC records. OJC, excuse me, OJL. I don't know if that's because they did something to remove the noise, which I doubt because of the time period, or if he just exclusively pressed very clean 78s, or if it's just the accident of the ones that I've been able to get my hands on. But regardless, these are right up there with Yazoo, right up there with Mississippi Records. Just fantastic, fantastic transfers and selections of 78 sides. So, I was able to grab that one sealed. Very happy about that. And here's really souped about this one. This is Plastic Ono Band, Yoko Ono. been on the lookout for this for a while. It does not show up very often. As you can see, there's a little, maybe you can see there's a little drill hole in the center there. But, you know, what a lineup on this. John Lennon, Ringo Starr, Klaus Vormann, Ornette Coleman, Edward Blackwell, and Charles Hayden, David Zenzon, who I'm not familiar with. But, you know, this record is strange and avant-garde and wonderful. You know, I grew up, there's obviously, I think everybody, there's a lot of stigma around Yoko Ono. And a lot of treating her music as if it's not to be taken seriously, but this is, you know, this almost has a punk energy to it and gets into strange, almost like free jazz, and it's just, it's fantastic. And also it came in this strange, I don't know, came in a weather report sleeve from the record store with all these interesting notes, presumably by Reed Poole, who I looked up and is a jazz player, jazz artist. He wrote these really extensive notes about the weather report. Funky by some definitions, occasionally old-fashioned whole tone scale. Just kind of a neat little side thing, but yeah, I mean, I've kind of only dipped my feet in and sampled this record a few times and been like, wow, how exciting. I need to really dig in. I have been listening to a lot of free jazz lately, so this has been kind of floating around that pile, and thrilled to have it. You know, prices are swingy, doesn't show up that often, especially when you're looking for it. You get so excited every time you see this cover, and it's always John's Plastic Ono Band, which is, of course, a fantastic record, but one that I already have a great copy of, so yeah. There's a new record, Blake Mills' Look. Blake Mills is one of my favorite musicians, I've said before. He came across a treasure trove of guitar synthesizers from the 70s, Roland guitar synths, and he said he found them so unpredictable that in order to teach himself how to use them, recording was the best possible way. And the recordings, I guess, he found interesting enough that he had a few friends come along, Rob Moose, a few other friends, and kind of filled them out. And so he created this 5-track, 45-minute long, I believe, something around there, ambient record built around guitar synths. And I think the fact that it's being played with real instruments and real human voices and violins and stuff really gives it an incredible quality. And this is, for me, the epitome of the kind of record that seems maybe like a one-off, a shallow experiment at first glance, and the farther you look into it, the deeper it goes. It's really, almost had like a through the looking glass moment with it when I was listening through headphones one night. A great record. Came out in, I think, the very end of November last year on his new label, New Deal. If you're into ambient electronic, I definitely recommend this. And if you're a Blake Mills fan, you shouldn't pass it up. One more, and then I'll get out of here. Again, this was found months ago at my local record store, but I was really souped to find this Popol Vuh compilation of the music that they did for Werner Herzog's films. Fitzcarraldo, Aguirre, The Wrath of God, Nosferatu, Coeur de Ver, Florian Frick from Kraftwerk. You know, just some great. I'm really only starting to get familiar with krautrock, so I'm sure this is full of, you know, classic krautrock names. But I'm a fan of these films, and this music is beautiful. just so atmospheric and evocative and otherworldly and earthy, and just a lot of good stuff all at once. You know, I would love to get each of the individual soundtracks for these films, or at least as many have been released, but this was a great find. Really, really, really happy to have this out on Barclay Records. Not a label that I'm familiar with. This looks like it's yes, it must be a European pressing. So lucky to get this. And yeah, I'm sure Chad would be able to give a much better description of what's actually on here. I know he has the Nosferatu soundtrack, at least. But yeah, another one I was happy to get. So there you go, VC. You can only plan a video for so long. Sometimes you just got to jump in and make it. There's the music I've been surrounding myself with lately, and some of the stuff that's on the top of my head. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope there's something there. Hope it wasn't too rambly. And enjoying all your videos, and talk to you soon. Bye-bye.